Hi, welcome to Improve Work podcast. Here you'll find resources to level up your leadership role and create the team that you want. It's Daniela here. Feel free to ask me questions about today's episode's topic. Also, if you would like me to speak about a specific topic, let me know. You'll find my email address in the description of this episode. I hope you enjoy it and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. Hi, welcome back. Today we'll talk about work stereotypes. Have you ever been bothered by someone's words or by behavior that seemed unfair? This might have stayed in your mind for a few hours or even days. You wondered, is this true? Is this how I am? Or why did they treat me like that? Sometimes people may make incorrect assumptions about us, and we can do the same with others. They may judge us or attribute qualities or traits to us without any valid reasons. These assumptions can be stereotypes, preconceived notions or beliefs that we hold about certain groups of people based on characteristics such as gender, race, age, profession, social or economic status, or education, background, or other characteristics. But I want you to know that other people's assumptions have nothing to do with us, because these were formed in their minds, based on the information and experience they had. A different person may have had a totally different opinion about the same situation, or had a totally different reaction, because they have different lenses. So in this kind of situations, we can ask ourselves, what made that person say those things? What is happening within them that's causing them to say or do that thing? Okay, so our minds don't always work in our favor. Because of our incorrect assumptions, we can make mistakes and take wrong decisions. And the natural question that appears is what can we do to eliminate more of the biases in our minds? This is important not only in our personal lives but also in the workplace. When we make incorrect assumptions about others, we can hire or promote the wrong person, assign responsibilities in a way that is not fair or efficient, or make unfair decisions that lead to employees' frustrations, lower motivation, among other things. Also, if we allow team members to judge each other or act based on false beliefs, their relationships will suffer and the work environment will not be safe and supportive. And of course, this will affect their motivation and work results. There are many types of biases, but in this episode we'll focus on biases produced by stereotypes. We'll discuss different types of stereotypes that can occur in the workplace and how we can prevent them. But before we do that, to make it easier to understand how stereotypes work, let's talk a little bit about how we attribute meaning to things, behaviors, or actions. Attribution is the process through which we give meaning to our own and other people's experiences and behaviors. Because we are looking to understand them, we are searching for their causes, their sources. And sometimes this attribution may be accurate and other times this may be incorrect. Attribution process is important because the meaning that we give to things impact our actions and behaviors. When we misjudge a person, misunderstood a situation or a person's behavior, we may jump saying things that are not true. We may put labels, treat them unfairly, or take other actions that are based on false assumptions and data. A tendency that we have when we make attribution is our inclination to make them in a way that keep our existing beliefs and knowledge valid, in a way that doesn't contradict them. We avoid cognitive dissonance, so we avoid having contradictory thoughts and beliefs. The attribution process stays underneath cognitive biases like stereotypes, rationalization, or confirmation bias. There are two types of attribution, internal and external attribution. Internal attribution is when we explain the behavior or actions of a person based on their personal characteristics, traits, or disposition. When making an internal attribution, we attribute someone's actions to their inherent qualities or choices. So, for example, if someone succeeds in a task, we attribute their success to their skill, effort, and competence. And external attribution involves explaining the behavior or actions of a person based on external factors or situational circumstances. When making an external attribution, we attribute someone's actions to factors beyond their control. So, for instance, if someone fails to complete a task, we attribute their failure to the difficulty of the task or to unforeseen obstacles. Research shows that there are differences between the attributions that we make for our own behaviors and those made for other people's behaviors. We tend to attribute external causes to our own behaviors and internal causes to other people's behaviors. Also, our expectations influence how we make attributions. Unexpected successes or failures tend to be explained through external factors, and expected successes and failures through internal factors. It's also important to note that the person who makes the attribution and the person whose action or behavior is explained by attributing a cause don't have the same data. Secondly, what is important for the person who makes the attribution may not be important for the person whose action is observed. This person has data about their motivations that are not known by the observer. Alright, I will make a short break now to tell you about one of my online programs named How to Motivate Your Employees so they care for your business and help you grow it. This online program will help you to increase your employees' motivation and their results. It's a step-by-step guide that will help you to identify your employees' personal motivational drivers and to create personalized motivational strategies for each one of them. It will also help you to increase your current general motivational strategies. You can find more details about this online program in the description of this episode. And if you have questions, you can also book a call with me. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Alright, let's go back. Let's go further and talk about stereotypes that can occur in the workplace. Have you ever confronted or witnessed stereotypes in the workplace? Or have you surprised yourself by holding stereotypical beliefs? At some point, probably all of us have. In my case, at the beginning of my career, I happened to interview people who at first glance seems to be promising candidates based on their attire and attitudes. However, in some cases, after a few questions and answers, I changed my first impression. The truth is that how a candidate or employee dresses doesn't tell us anything about their competencies or motivation. But sometimes, a well-dressed person may be perceived as competent and motivated. This is not always the case. Stereotypes are formed by generalizing specific characteristics of one or more members of a group to the entire group within that category. These are formed based on our own limited experiences, or this can be learned. We can adopt them from other people, from media, from a specific group we are part of, or other sources. For example, a person might learn from their parents or peers that individuals from a certain country are unreliable in business dealings. Even if they have never had direct personal experience with people from that country, they might adopt this stereotype based on others' opinions. Now, the first type of stereotypes I will talk is about stereotypes related to personality traits. And we have introverts and extroverts. Introverts might be stereotyped as shy, reserved, and lacking in social skills, while extroverts might be seen as outgoing, confident, and more suited for leadership. For example, Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, is known for his introverted nature. Despite this, he led Microsoft to become one of the world's most successful technology company. Warren Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, is another example of a successful introverted leader. He is well known for his exceptional investment strategies and his ability to analyze complex financial situations. Another example of stereotypes related to personality traits can come from the way we express our emotions. Those who express emotions openly might be seen as less professional. They might be judged unfairly as weak persons or too sensitive persons. And those who suppress emotions might be perceived as more objective. But also, they might not receive recognition for their empathy and emotional intelligence. They may be perceived as detached and not caring about the situation or about the people involved. So how can we create a balance in how we express our emotions at work? Well, in some situations, showing vulnerability and empathy can build trust and rapport, while in others, maintaining a reserved attitude may be more effective. Consider who your audience is and how they might perceive emotional expressions. And you can express emotions generally without allowing them to overpower your ability to make rational decisions and contribute effectively. In the case you choose to suppress emotions, make an effort to demonstrate empathy in other ways. Active listening, supportive actions, and understanding the perspectives of others can convey your care and concern. Alright, let's go further to job-related stereotypes. These stereotypes are based on the type of job or industry an individual works. For instance, assuming that someone in a creative field is more innovative than someone in a technical field, or vice versa. Professions like scientist, engineer, programmer might be perceived as requiring higher intelligence and technical skills. Because of this, people in other types of roles might face biases in being considered for certain opportunities or initiatives. Another example, administrative roles might be underestimated in terms of their importance and impact on the organization, so this might not receive the recognition they deserve. Some companies label the administrative roles as support roles, seeing them as less important because these don't bring direct revenue to the company. Another type of stereotypes are those related to education. Assuming that individuals with higher levels of education are more intelligent or capable than those with lower levels of education. I think that many of us know that often schools fail to equip people with skills and competencies that they can use in real-life situations. So, for example, a person without college who was mentored by a successful entrepreneur may be more skilled and competent than a person who graduated a prestigious university. Example as Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg speak for themselves. But I'm not saying that higher education is not valuable, just that it's not an exclusive indicator of a person's intelligence and capabilities. Also, graduates of prestigious universities might be stereotyped as more intelligent, capable, and qualified, while individuals who attended less known institutions might face biases in being considered for certain roles or opportunities. And another example of how this type of stereotypes can manifest is those who pursue non-traditional educational paths such as online courses or vocational training might be stereotyped as less credible or less qualified. So they may face biases in job applications and career advancement. What about stereotypes related to professional status? This type of stereotypes includes the beliefs that people in higher positions are always more competent, intelligent, or deserving of their roles than those in lower positions. And this belief originates from cultural and societal norms that associate higher status positions with qualities like intelligence, competence, and hard work. People might assume that individuals who have climbed the corporate ladder or attained prestigious titles must possess exceptional abilities. So here is an example. A marketing department has a graphic designer who consistently produces visually stunning and effective materials. However, this designer is often overshadowed by the director of marketing, who is assumed to have a deeper understanding of design due to his position. The director receives praises for the work produced by the entire team, while the person responsible for the outstanding designs remains unrecognized. Seeing this type of stereotypes from a different angle, companies can have different standards for job positions and the requirements can be different. Also, people have different levels of skills to negotiate their jobs and advance in their careers. So even if two people have the same level of competencies, if one of them is more able to negotiate for himself, he might obtain a higher position. And another aspect, opportunities for advancement can be different in different companies. Another possible situation, some employees may be promoted to leadership roles because other members of the team are so proficient at their task that moving them to administrative roles would not be in the company's interests. Okay, let's go further. Did you encounter the stereotypes related to economic status? So, individuals of higher economic status might be stereotyped as more competent and capable compared to those of lower economic status. People from lower economic backgrounds may face biases in opportunities and recognitions despite their skills and abilities. For instance, a candidate who has a large income at his current job may be perceived as more competent and capable than another candidate who earns less. However, after the selection process, where these two candidates are evaluated and tested, it may turn out that the person with a lower income has higher skills than the other one. Let's talk now about gender stereotypes. I think that these are very much discussed, as the other ones as well. These involve beliefs about the roles and abilities of men and women. For instance, assuming that women are better suited for nurturing roles and men are more suited for leadership positions. Men are often stereotyped as assertive, confident, and natural leaders, while women might be perceived as less assertive and less suited for leadership roles. Men are sometimes expected to suppress their emotions and avoid showing vulnerability, while women might be expected to be more emotional and empathic. These stereotypes can create an environment when men might hesitate to seek support and women might be dismissed as overly emotional. Another example, it's a common perception that men are more aligned with technical fields and disciplines such as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, while women are sometimes seen as being less proficient or interested in these sectors. Men might be seen as better negotiators and advocates for their own interests, while women might face challenges in advocating for themselves, leading to wage differences and unequal opportunities. Women's appearances are often more heavily scrutinized, with assumptions that their physical appearance is linked to their competence. Women might feel pressured to conform to certain beauty standards to be taken seriously in professional settings. And women are often expected to prioritize family responsibilities, while men might face stigma or bias if they prioritize their family over work. Racial and ethnic stereotypes. These stereotypes involve making assumptions about individuals based on their racial or ethnic background. Examples include assuming that certain ethnic groups are better at certain jobs or are less competent overall. People from groups targeted by stereotypes might experience reduced self-esteem and confidence due to feeling undervalued and misunderstood. Another common type of stereotypes are those related to age. Let's see some examples. So, older employees might be stereotyped as technologically incompetent. Older employees are often seen as having more experience and expertise due to their longer work history. While experience is valuable, assuming that age directly correlates with competence can disregard the skills and knowledge of younger employees. Younger employees might be seen as more suitable for promotions and leadership roles because of assumptions about their energy and potential for growth. Older employees might be overlooked for advancement opportunities based on the perception that they are nearing the end of their careers. Older employees might be viewed as less adaptable to change and less willing to learn new skills. This stereotype can lead to older employees being excluded from training or development opportunities, limiting their potential growth. Another example, older individuals are sometimes seen as natural mentors due to their life experience and knowledge. While mentorship is valuable, older employees might also benefit from learning opportunities and reverse mentorship from younger colleagues. Younger employees are sometimes seen as more creative and innovative, while the older ones might be considered less open to new ideas. Let's go now to physical appearance stereotypes. This involves making judgments based on individual physical attributes such as weight, height, or attractiveness. For instance, assuming that a person's appearance reflects their abilities. Employees who choose casual outfits might be perceived as less dedicated or less focused on their work compared to those who dress more formally. And individuals who wear creative or unconventional clothing might be labeled as free-spirited or creative thinkers, while those who dress more conventionally might be perceived as conformists. Employees in business casual attire are often seen as more approachable and friendly, while those in formal outfits might be perceived as less open to interactions. These perceptions can lead to biases in interactions and collaboration. How can we prevent stereotypes? There are some strategies that can be applied, and I will talk about some of them. So the first strategy is to increase our awareness. We can learn about the nature and impact of stereotypes. We can prevent them by raising our awareness about them and about how this can lead to unfair judgments, discrimination, and exclusion. You can do this in the workplace by providing books, training sessions about cognitive biases, videos related to this topic, or simply discussing it openly. Another strategy is to be empathic. Empathy requires caring for the other person, and when we are in this space, it is less likely that we'll say something that will hurt the other person or do something that is not fair to them. Empathy humanizes people by recognizing their individuality and complexity. It reminds us that everyone has unique experiences and stories. Empathy encourages looking beyond the labels and appearances to understand the person beneath. Also, empathy can drive us to take actions against injustice and inequality. It creates a safe space to share experiences without fear of judgment. Another strategy is practicing active listening. Through active listening, we can truly hear and understand the experiences and the viewpoints of others. This helps counteract assumptions based on stereotypes. I've wrote more about active listening in one of my previous blog posts. You can go and check it out. The link is in the description of this episode. Another strategy is to challenge our assumptions. Avoid jumping to conclusions or making assumptions hastily. Take the time to carefully consider the situation. Think why you hold that assumption and where it might have come from. Is it from your own experience? Did you adopt it from another person or group? Is your experience broad enough to conclude that the assumption is true? Or is the person from whom you took the idea or data a reliable source? Another thing that we can do is to intentionally seek out different viewpoints and perspectives and try to understand how others might see the same situation or issue. And also seek information that contradicts our assumptions to broaden our perspectives. Another possible strategy is to encourage open communication by giving an example. Being open to discussing work stereotypes with your team members or colleagues will help you identify and eliminate them. And you can encourage your team to make observations when they think that a decision or behavior is rooted in stereotypes. Alright, we are at the end of this episode. So we talked about attribution process, how we can make internal or external attribution. We talked about different types of stereotypes that can occur in the workplace and how this can manifest, and about how stereotypes can be prevented. Let me know your thoughts about this episode. If you want to listen more episodes like this, follow and share it with your friends. I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.